Hey guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I feel like that intro, is it even possible to make out my name? Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here. What's going on? If you turn on Google subtitles, I believe it says something that's probably not appropriate. Anyway, guys, this is a big day. This is a big day, ladies and gentlemen. We have my very first champion guide on an amazing champion from my free-to-play account. My first thorough, comprehensive champion guide on Vexthal. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are too, because the man of the hour is Dhukk the Pierced. Now, Dhukk the Pierced is a champion I do not have built on my main account, otherwise I would show you him there. So we have a very realistic expectation, I guess a real benchmark is a better word, of what you can expect, or everybody can expect from this champion. As you guys can see, I prioritized him as one of my first 3 champions, actually my second champion overall, that I ranked all the way to 6 stars because he is worth it. When we're talking about in a vacuum, it's very difficult, or collectively, it's very difficult to judge epic champions in this game, any rarity of champions, because some support, some debuff, some attack, whatever you're doing, nuke, whatever. However, Dhukk in a vacuum is definitely my choice for top 3 epic champion in the game. If I was just gonna draft them, you know, like a rotisserie draft, I would go with Dhukk the Pierced. Probably, I'm having a hard time thinking of many champions I would pick over him. He's a new champion added to the game. Let's take a look at his kit and see if you guys agree or disagree with me. On the A1, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance, can be booked up to 40, of placing a 50% decrease accuracy debuff for 2 turns. Nice to have that decrease accuracy on each hit, so a 40% plus another 40% shot at landing that on his A1. This guy is the debuff master. On the A2, notice, by the way, his damage is based on defense. You love to see it. This dude, Lunatic Outburst, on a 4-turn cooldown is on 3 if you book it. I'm missing 2 books on this champion right now on my free-to-play. Epic books, they're hard to come by. What can I say? It's an AoE attack. It also has decreased attack. It also has decreased defense on each critical hit. So that's a Stag Knight-esque ability there. Only difference is he has 100% of landing it as opposed to 95% compared to Stag Knight. However, because it is on each critical hit on the decreased defense, not the decreased attack, noteworthy there, you got to worry about going into Force Affinity champions. It's not always going to be landing that decreased defense. However, on a 3-turn cooldown, a very, very nice ability in addition to an attack, doing damage based on defense and the increase or decreased accuracy. Now we move on to Shrieking Display. This is his A3. So not only is this dude placing a decreased attack and a decreased defense on 1 skill on a 3-turn cooldown, but he's also landing provokes. Places a provoke debuff on 1 turn on the target enemy. Also has a 75% chance of placing provoke debuff for 1 turn on 2 random enemies. So in addition to, 3 enemies total. Also places a 30% reflect damage buff on this champion for 2 turns and an unkillable buff on this champion for 1 turn. His aura is defense in faction crisp by 31%, actually a very good aura for Orc faction crypt, which is not an easy faction war crypt. So altogether, when you look at this dude, what does he bring to the table? He's got the AoE provoke, kind of. I guess the 1 guaranteed plus 2 more potential provokes on a 4-turn cooldown. He's got the unkillable on himself. He's got the reflect damage for 2 turns out of every 4 turns. He's got the decreased attack. He's got the decreased defense. He's got his damage based on defense, similar to a Tyrell type champion, only it's on a 3-turn cooldown instead of a 4-turn cooldown as Tyrell's is. And then on his A1, he has the decreased accuracy. He's bringing everything to the table like a champion like Tyrell does. But he's doing it in 3 turns, similar to a Stag Knight, and he has provoke on top of all of that. So granted, I don't want to kind of brush this under the table. It is on each critical hit, so that is a factor that must be considered. But overall, I am so thrilled to get this champion on my free-to-play account. I prioritized his masteries. I've actually gotten 4 champions totally done masteries wise now, so we are moving right along here. Spending, you can see, not getting a lot of progress on my account, aside from mastery farming. That's what I've been focused on the last week or two on this account. So offense, we went with a very typical kind of build on this champion as a debuffer build, right? We went with War Master. He has 2 hits on his A1. If he had 3, I would go Giant Slayer. We're sticking with War Master for that extra damage. Support, we're adding some accuracy. Charge focus, pinpoint accuracy, going down to swarm smiter, and then we're getting this kind of block of 4 or I should say masteries, excuse me, that we love to have on our debuffers. Of course, Lure of Steel being dependent on if you have basic artifact sets or not. Evil Eye decreasing the target's turn meter, and then of course Master Hexer, the chance at extending the duration of any debuff cast by this champion. Doesn't work on provoke, but it does work. Excuse me, I'm blocking it. Doesn't work on provoke, but it does work again on decreased attack, decrease defense, and decrease accuracy. So that's a great mastery, mandatory mastery once you build him out to get to pick up for this champion. And also Sniper, an additional 5% chance at landing or placing any debuff from skills or artifacts. We'll take that as well. Again, help us more consistently land this decreased accuracy on the A1. And excuse me, when you don't have them all the way booked out, it helps a little bit on the decreased attack and decreased defense. Once I do, it will be 100% chance. So there he is, guys. Dhukk the Pierced. Did I convince you? Do you think he is a SS tier epic champion in the game like I do? Right now, we're missing a banner on him. Once I pick up a good orc banner, it's going to be accuracy. That's what we're going to be looking out for, but I'll take what I can get for now. It is my free-to-play account after all. So accuracy on the banner is going to be the way to go there. Really need to get his accuracy higher. Granted, I am in the early mid-game on this account, so take that into consideration. As we always say here on the channel, you're generally looking for about 10 accuracy per stage, per level of the dungeon that you're going into. So we have accuracy. It's going to be mandatory that we build this dude with 100% crit rate. We're not there yet because, again, I'm lacking the gear right now, but we're close. 93% crit rate. Again, we need to land those critical hits so the decreased defense can land on the Lunatic Outburst on his A2 skill. In terms of his amulet, we want to prioritize crit damage. I got the best I got right now. All I have is one amulet on Oryx, and it's a defense. We'll take what we can get. But of course, crit damage is going to be the way to go on this champion. And then on the ring, you can really go to add some sustainability to this champion. You can put, again, defense. Defense, because his damage is based off of defense. So we're looking at defense. I happen to get a trip roll of HP percentage. Hey, I'll take it. But again, defense on the ring, definitely going to be the way to go with him. And again, crit damage, some of you might want to just go more defense on the amulet. Me personally, I'm looking for the biggest thing here is substat accuracy. Again, I don't have one right now, but on your amulet, whether it's defense or crit damage, I'd prefer crit damage. You're looking for accuracy from your amulet, a great source of accuracy. Same thing on the banner. We're looking for accuracy as a main stat, but we're really keeping an eye out for speed. Remember, we want our debuffers to always go before our nukers. It's obvious, but you know, it's worth stating the obvious sometimes as a reminder here on the channel. So we want to build him with enough speed. Ergo, we're going to have speed on the boots as well. We're going to have defense on the chest. We're going to have crit rate or crit damage if you can find the crit rate elsewhere on his gauntlets. Here on the free-to-play account, of course, we're just going to go with crit rate. And then a top row, you know, obviously we know the stats of these artifacts, but again, in terms of what we're looking for, crit rate, accuracy, speed, just like any other debuffer that you're building inside the game. So I have an accuracy set on him. Heck, I could even use another accuracy set. Accuracy sets are a huge way to get really, to bump up accuracy. Like 2 sets is plus 80 accuracy, especially if you're like me in the early or the mid game. Definitely take advantage of accuracy sets. You can also go with, why am I totally drawing a blank right now? Perception. There we go. Jeez, Ash. Perception sets if you happen to have them. So let's go ahead and see what this dude can do. First of all, where are you using him? Basically everywhere. The only area I'm really not using him is like Fire Knight 20, but he's a really, really reliable, robust debuffer that should be basically used, you know, anywhere that you could use a debuffer, right? So let's actually see if we can clear a new stage here for the first time. Stage 14 of Ice Golem. We have Kymar level 28. We need to level him up there, Ash. So let's see what we do with this team. This is my best team. This is the team that, you know, at this point on the account, everything is revolving around these 5 champions. I really hesitate to diversify my resources outside these champions. Who just nuked them down? Who was that? Was that Dhukk? Or was that somebody else? I missed who nuked. Anyway, what I want to do is slow it down here. Wow, 1 speed sometimes feels like it's like a quarter speed. Boom, that was his A3 there. You can see the provoke. So we landed 2 provokes, which is really good. You know, I mean, the one thing that it doesn't consider is that sometimes there's only 3 enemies alive. So you might be landing 3 provokes. It might be on every enemy alive. Okay, so here we are at the Ice Golem, and I gotta tell you guys, it's looking pretty good here. I'm gonna make myself a little bit smaller here in the corner. There we go. Shrink it up a little bit so you can see the whole team. Sorry for blocking you, Apothecary, my bad, man. So take down the guards. Here he goes with his A1. Again, a 2-hitter, not putting out a ton of damage here. We do have War Master on him. But again, keep in mind, we have below 100% on his crit damage and his crit rate. Don't read too much into these numbers in terms of his overall damage output. There it is with the reflect damage and the unkillable. As you guys probably know, reflect damage doesn't really put out that much damage, but it's nice to have a nice little bonus for 2 rounds. And you can see the unkillable still there. He lands decreased accuracy on that left minion of the Ice Golem. Let's see, can we do this, guys? Can we win this battle? Lands 2 decreased accuracies. And you can see this is stage, what, 15? And his debuffs are all landing just fine. He puts out enough damage where I'm tempted to just farm up some lifesteal gear and have him like pretty much fully healed. Him and Kale, who currently is in lifesteal as well. Apothecary is really nice though to have that 2-turn heal, clinging on to life right there. But it looks like, boom, we're gonna be able to end this one. Lunatic Outburst doing what, around 10? Oops.
Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
Okay, so we didn't beat a new level there, unfortunately. We took the ignore 100% defense because both of the guards were still alive. But let's just compare the damage here. He put out 358,000 damage, second only to Kale. Granted, he is the only fully leveled, fully ascended 6-star champion here on the team. But I think at the end of the day, if you put him on a team, let's say this team was fully maxed out in God tier gear, I'm pretty confident he's still going to be the 2nd damage dealer on the team. Picture a champion like Tyrell and like Stagnite, even though their defense compared to attack attack-based damage on those 2 champions, Stagnite and Tyrell. Picture how much damage they put out. He's really comparable, right in that kind of debuffer threshold in terms of his multipliers plus his scalability on his base stats. So let's go ahead and, sorry about that loss there, guys. We probably shouldn't try pushing the limits of content here on the channel, but what I want to do is take the opportunity to end this video by showing you guys my new arena team on my free-to-play account. All right, guys, so here we are in the arena. I actually pushed up from bronze to silver. I have a really fun and effective arena team for speed farming on a free-to-play account. You guys can take a look at it right here. And with arena, especially as a free-to-play or as just a non-whale in this game, all you're really looking for is an aura lead. They don't have to be the fastest champion on your team. So I have Kymar as an aura lead, Jingle Hunter, Skull Crown, Gorgorab. All these champions are viable. Arbiter, obviously, are viable aura leads for you. And then for, again, a speed team, they don't always have to be a speed team, but for speed, which is what we want if we want to farm metals quickly and efficiently, then you need a speed booster. So Apothecary is a great example. There's a bunch of them out there in the game. Seeker is another very popular one. Haikatoon, Golden Reaper, Lysandra. And then we have our debuffer who goes 3rd. That's going to be Dhukk the Pierced again. He's going to land those decreased attack, decreased defenses on the AoE. And then our nuker goes last. So as long as that speed is good, then you should be good and safe going into even stronger teams such as this one, power-wise, with better artifacts, right? So here we go. That was the... I didn't see how much damage he did on the Lunatic Outburst there. But let's see. Oh, we get stunned. That was unfortunate, but Kale comes through in the clutch and is going to seal this one, hopefully. Got to be careful, though. It's nice to have that provoke. See that provoke landed on Scylla the Drakes? Prevented her from getting a revive up and, prolonging this battle even more, although she is going to actually get Kale up right now. But I think we've got this one under control. He's only doing about 2k damage. Granted, Kale is under Ally Protect, so take that into consideration. But this one's going to be over here. And again, decreased accuracy, too, on the A1. It helps against a champion like Scylla the Drakes. That's a 50% decreased accuracy Affinity. That is a very, very underrated debuff to have inside his kit as well. And again, this is a tough team, kind of, in terms of total power, higher than mine, but I see they don't have a speed or lead, so, you know, I might not win, but I'm not super worried. And what I could do with this team too is I could take one of these champions, probably Apothecary, maybe Dhukk the Pierced, if I farmed a lot of gear, and put them in high speed, high accuracy shield set gear. And that would help me stay alive, because with a team like this, with the artifacts that I have, I'm not always going to be able to nuke everybody down on the first or second turn. Sometimes, like these last few matches, they're going to go a little bit longer. So let's go into one more team here. And again, speed or lead, I kind of stay away from that, right? Because if I don't have first turn, then I'm going to be in trouble. 2 Force Affinity champions. I prefer not go into that either. So let's go against this team, Mr. Noisy Neighbor. They have speed in all battles. They have I have a better speed ore than them, but they have better artifacts than I do. So let's see who goes first here. The Battle of Dhukk versus Stag Knight. So I go first, so I should win this. And again, we land 8 out of 8 debuffs there. Solid, right? So now we take them down, and there you guys have it. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap the video there. Let's just do one more. Let's do one more team here. I don't know. Let's go against this team right here. Again, they have defense. They have Saito, who I think is a really fun champion. Maybe I'll do a guide on him on my main account. And again, what do we land? 6 out of, we didn't land any debuffs on Skull Crusher there. Again, Force Affinity, gonna have to be aware of that. And that's why I say having both, you know, Lunatic, what? Dhukk the Pierced. Lunatic is his skill, Ash. But having both Dhukk and Stag Knight built is going to be great to kind of swap them in and out depending on the affinities you're going against. However, you know, that's, you know, not realistic for everybody at the end of the day as well. But it looks like we're going to win this one. Let's see. I don't want to speak too soon. We do have that nice unkillable as well. And it looks like we will get the job done here. And very apropos for my man Dhukk the Pierced to get that final blow as well. So guys, you know, doing about 2/3 damage, half 2/3 of damage as Kale, so kind of a secondary nuker and debuffer on your squad. I hope you enjoyed this guide, the first ever on my free-to-play account. I appreciate it, guys. If you like the content here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching all the way till the end, and as always, take care, guys.